Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed yourselves and had fun just wandering around the school and doing something a little different than you do on a day-to-day basis. So really quickly before I show you the survey and talk about what was involved in the activity, I just want to cover how GPS works. So as we talked about before you went out and did the survey, we just briefly talked about how satellites and GPS coordinates work. And so, what I want to take you through is the fact that we have 31 active GPS satellites within the air at all times, and approximately 6 satellites can be activated at any location on the globe. And the big takeaway I want to have from this is the fact that depending on how many satellites you can get within your location, it's a required or it's optimal to have 6, but sometimes that doesn't always work out, and so we're restricted down to either having 3 or 4 satellites. And with 3 satellites, you can get up to 2D location. That's X and Y. And so if you're standing on a hill, it doesn't tell you how high that hill is. It'll just tell you, where you are in position on the Earth. But with 4 satellites and greater, up to 6, you get a 3D fix. So you can actually tell them like, hey, I'm on a hill, I'm this high up, and it's a much more accurate reading. And so we were doing that today. We don't know exactly how many satellites we were able to capture. We need an alternative application for that. But we were able to get semi accurate GPS points. And a question was asked as to how accurate that range is. And with what we're doing and how it all works, the accuracy is approximately 10 meters. So if you answered 10 meters, that's one correct answer and possibly having the ability to win. So now let's walk through the survey. So it's really hard to now do the survey and then look at the back end, how it's actually created, but this is it. We had some initial introduction text, and then task 1 is right here, and there was a GPS location asked of you, and that's all put right here. So it's kind of hard to explain if we don't walk through it, but I just wanted to show you the back end, and if you've worked with Excel before, this is it, and a few YouTube videos and instructions, and you can usually do it. So I just wanted to show you that and give you a general idea. And one thing that I want to point out on the survey is the fact that when you were doing task 3, I asked for a picture with a group member initially, and then a GPS point, and then the GPS points are actually captured within this same window. And so the way to capture the second GPS point is to click this side arrow and then capture a GPS point again, and then take the other picture. So it was a little tricky, and with how the software and everything works, there are some things that need to be improved, optimized. But with that, I was hoping to have you all kind of constructively think and do the best you could, but that situation being the determining factor. So now that we've talked about a few things and looked at the survey, let's look at a few applications in which Survey123 could be applied. As we've witnessed in the recent months, natural disasters are a big thing. So what we can do is we can have people with their own devices have Survey123, and we can create a survey that gives us logistics on storm damage. And in doing that, we can have a better, quicker cleanup process. And this is just one example. We have a few others with drunk driving and doing various DUI checkpoints. We can populate a various Survey123 application to see some trends, see where maybe these acts are being prominently taking place, and from there we can create an application out of it with something else, and talk about the cities and the regions where this is a big thing, and possibly implement more education on drunk driving or whatever the situation may be. Another is cleanup. People recording areas where there's trash, and another company can come in with that survey data and they can find the trash and clean it up. And that's amazing just to keep this world clean and just, work as a community for better. There's one more thing that I'd like to talk about, and that's natural disasters. It's really hard for people to be in communication, and if we have a survey app where people can at least look and view data, that can be a good step for future improvements with more rapid help and cleanup when it comes to natural disasters. So really quickly, the last thing I want to cover is what it looks like that I'm looking at as far as the survey and to see who the ultimate winner is. So this is where I took an example survey, and right here is all my data. I just grabbed a random GPS point and did lat and long, and I took a picture. That's my first picture, and then I moved on to task 2. I obviously filled in the multiple choice 2, and took a second picture and took another GPS point. The next one, task 3, is where it gets a little difficult. So that was my first picture. That was an individual picking up a piece of trash and taking a GPS point. And now it involves taking a second GPS point and then having the person take a picture of the trash being put in the trash can. So the way to determine the winner would probably be to see if there's only 2 pictures and 2 GPS points and not 1 GPS point and 4 pictures, or it's laid out a little funky. So that's one thing. And then on top of the 2 multiple choices at the very end before you fill in your group members. So I hope you all enjoyed, and maybe there's a future hope for Survey123 and working within the community in Merced. Thanks for your time.